I don't know if he's going to kill me for this. But what the hell?
Stephen Stull, hilarious, particularly with just a dose of wine.
I suppose his best quality is thinking outside the box and being creative.
He finds a way to overcome obstacles and make it happen. Part of it is his intellect, his brilliance. I mean, he sees the world differently than most people do.
When you spend time with Stephen, you see a genuine soul. I think sooner or later, people don't invest millions of dollars in people that aren't genuine. And Stephen is genuine.
It's a story of someone who had an idea, and that idea became more than a reality. It became a special company with special people, special leadership, and a special journey. It's a great American story.
For Stephen Stull, his life and life lessons began on his family's farm in New Melle, Missouri.
When you grow up on a farm and then raise animals and hay, you've got to work hard, and he did. And I think that carried over into his business life.
Ron Rucker was Stephen Stull's roommate at Washington University.
He was a great friend. We had a great time, both academically and non-academically. We were trying to make money. We were relatively poor, very poor, college students. So we got that book called Playing Blackjack as a Business. And the four of us studied up on card counting. We went to Vegas. As a group, we never lost. It's, in a sense, like business. You analyze the risk, you know what the reward is, and you go in and you count the cards, and when the time's right down, you increase your bet, I suppose that's what Steve does a lot.
After getting his MBA, Stephen began placing business bets as a young executive in the insurance industry.
We were working probably 4 years together when we were on a ski trip out west. And during one of those long lift rides up, Steve mentioned to me that he had an idea, a concept, for basically starting a company that would be able to supply insurance companies with a product that they were missing, and that what he thought would have significant interests for them and significant value for them.
Stephen was a General American at the time, and he sees this idea of tax credits for insurance companies if they were invest in Louisiana-only venture capital funds, and then those funds had to invest in Louisiana startups.
Stephen was convinced he had a good idea. What he needed was a great partner. And that's when he called his friend David Bergman, who had been a successful bond trader in Los Angeles. Bergman had been wanting to come home to St. Louis to try something new, and he thought Stephen's idea had great potential. Together, they went to Wall Street to start looking for investors.
They came in, gave a presentation, and I said, "You have a good idea. That's the good news. The bad news is it's too small for us." But Dave had given Steve the key word, and that was to ask for a favor. And back then, when relationships meant something on Wall Street, when there was quite a few honorable people on Wall Street, if a client asked for a favor and he was a good client, he granted the favor. So I said, well, you should have said that 2 weeks ago, and would have saved us all a lot of trouble. And we took on the assignment. That became the beginning of the whole Advantage Capital story.
One of the company's first investments was with Louisiana-based Historic Restoration Incorporated, which was trying to bring back to life the dilapidated New Orleans warehouse district.
Just transformed that completely into a residential, cultural, everything. And now we have the World War II Museum down there. People live down there. The condo developments. I mean, that is a physical representation of something that doesn't happen without Advantage.
What Advantage Capital brought us was the ability to go national. All I can say was they were there when we needed it. We needed the capital. I couldn't find it elsewhere. They provided it, and we jumped ahead.
One of our most successful early investments was a company called FleetCor. It was a company that was not succeeding. Stephen brought in a stronger CEO, and then the company began to be more successful and was able to attract a lot of additional capital that made it really successful.
Literally, I look at him, I go, here's the choice, pal. I need $3 million from you in advantage, like this week, or the thing's going to close. So he noodles on the thing and he calls me back. He goes, we're in, Ron. Advantage, and he have made a whopper, absolute return.
But Stephen might say his best decision was when he hired a decorator to design Advantage Capital's New Orleans office. Her name was Claire Wolfe, and what started as a business relationship blossomed into a courtship that would last 10 years until Stephen and Claire got married in 2004.
What Claire saw in Stephen was a fundamentally decent person who is naturally kind and gentle and supportive.
Almost every charitable organization that is within this valley, he participates in.
They are very big at giving back, which is one of the reasons I really love them.
Yeah, and they bring enthusiasm to it as well, which is great.
They're actually a perfect couple. Claire has tons of emotion, tons of class, and Steve is Steve. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, but he needs Claire to basically show him a little more emotion than possibly he is able to show on his own. They're a wonderful couple, and we're honored to be their friends.
Yeah, I think the Advantage Capital uniqueness really comes from Stephen, right? Nobody in the world figures out how to do things that we take on regularly. He's constantly saying, couldn't this program work in this way? Or couldn't you do something like this in a way that nobody else has ever tried? And he's just relentless in that. You say, well, I don't think that can work, Steve. And he says, why not? Why not? Why not?
Steve has an incredible sense of humor. It's a very dry sense of humor.
Dry.
Very dry, but a wicked sense of humor.
When he talks, I never know whether he's serious or he's joking.
Steve's been a good leader. Steve's always had a vision of what he wanted to do. I think one of the most impressive things to me is the group that he assembled around him.
Steve cannot be personable individually to everyone that works here, but is to know that he's connected to everything, and he's the seed of the tree that grows, and and the fruit that comes out of it. He was the seed, and everybody contributes. Everybody.
That is an ethos of Advantage Capital. We work very hard, but we play hard, and that comes from Stephen. We are a family. I mean, we have these offsites that we do, which now as we've grown to 150 employees or so, when you're looking at bringing, upwards of 300 people to a different country to do an event, that's a big undertaking, and you certainly could save a lot of money doing something smaller and closer to home or wherever it is, but Stephen's not cutting that.
If you've done a good job and you've been successful, there is a time to party.
By the mid-1990s, Advantage Capital had become very successful, opening a second office in St. Louis, which became a life raft for the company during Hurricane Katrina.
After Hurricane Katrina, we took everyone in the office and basically said, listen, come to St. Louis. We've got a friend of the firm that's got a Hampton Inn, and we've got a great rate. We'll put everybody up. And so we all made our way up there. And it was touching that, that first week, we had a party, and Stephen flew in from California for that, which was, he didn't have to do that. But that was, that meant something to all of us who were there. Immediately we reached out and sent money to everyone in the firm, just said, hey, here's $1,000 for, it's in your bank account, whatever you need, just deal with it. Stephen treats this as his family, he really does.
And that family included co-founder David Bergman, who had been put in charge of Advantage Capital's St. Louis office.
Dave and I got to work together closely. Just a super analytical mind. He clearly had a financial background on Wall Street. You could tell that in the way he analyzed deals, but also just an amazing attention to detail.
Dave was a delightful guy. He was a funny guy.
So we got to the airport and he decided we had time to kill. Dave started speaking with a heavy German accent and asking people directions in the airport. And it doesn't sound like it would be very funny, but I was laughing so hard I was almost crying. And I have no idea why he got, motivated to do that, but that was Dave.
At Advantage, we are surgically precise about what we mean when we say impact investing. We're investing to profitably put money out, and at the same time to make certain that there is a social good returned.
The company has changed dramatically. I would say, in the 1990s, we had one kind of idea of what we were doing, and in the 2000s, we kind of had two business lines, working with some state incentives and with a federal incentive. And then in the last 10 years, we have really, really expanded dramatically.
For Stephen Stull, what started largely as a financial proposition has become a mission, not just to make businesses better, but to help people help themselves by providing pathways for them to bloom and flourish in the places they love while providing for the people they love. As Stephen has said many times, capital can change lives.
If you want to look at a template of how you can be a success in this country through hard work and creativity and persistence, look at Advantage Capital.
Congratulations on your 30-year anniversary.
Congratulations. It's been a great ride. Thank you for bringing me along with you.
I always say about how hard it is to make a thing go, to make a company go for 30 years. Congrats. Super good.
Stephen, I'm so proud to be your partner. It is always invigorating and enjoyable, and I wish you well as you celebrate this great success.
Congratulations on 30th anniversary.
Stephen, I personally want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to have the career that I've had and stay in the city of New Orleans, which was always my dream. It's just priceless, and I thank you for that every day.
Just like Captain Kirk, that you like very much, you went somewhere and you conquered the planet.
Congratulations on the first 30 years, and I hope I'm part of all, if not more than the next 30 years. Congratulations.
Stephen, 100 million trillion congratulations. We're so proud of you.
I second that.
I'm looking forward to the next 30 years of Advantage Capital.
We want you to enjoy this moment. And I just want Steve to know a favor was granted and you took advantage of it, Steve.
Stephen, we love you.
Stephen Stull, here's what I want to say to you. It's plain and it's simple. You are a very good man.
Now that I told everybody about you, don't cut my check.